Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Saggy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So before we start, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. If you're a new, continue subbing, you know Rafi loves you. Your key to the week this week is the Hermit card. The Hermit card has been very active this week. So I'm intrigued to see what's going on, on the wider world stage. It may be that we are, we could be seeing something or some big news about agriculture. We might even be seeing something happen, with new ideas around keeping things clean or sanitization. Definitely possible. It may even be as well that this week we see more things to do with the elderly in the news. So just be aware of that. Now, for you guys personally, what quest are you on? What mission are you on at the moment, Sagittarius? This is about you really delving into that heart space, going within and asking yourself, what is the next leg of the mission? What is the next part of the goal? And more importantly, this week you could be figuring out what stage you are at on that larger journey for your life, right? This is a big deal. For your actions and options this week, your jumping card was the King of Pentacles that turned itself right side up. So this week, a Virgo male or a Virgo person could feature for you in some way, shape or form. This may be somebody that you are speaking with, interacting with, maybe somebody that's going to benefit you, maybe somebody that is assisting you in some way, shape or form. Now, when it comes to your King of Pentacles, especially because this is your actions and options, this is about what you're doing, right? This week, do take a moment to consider when it comes to your work, your profession, elevation of status. This is, we're just off the back of that powerful Sagittarius eclipse. So in some way, shape or form, whatever that has set into motion, from here on in, you're going to start to see the results of it. And for a lot of you, I feel like this might be you going in a new direction when it comes to your work. You could find that new responsibilities or new duties or tasks are assigned to you. And it does suggest in a lot of ways as well, something to do with your money, your resources, your finances, or the way that you show up in the material world is about to go through a very big change. The thing is, because with that Hermit card, it's almost like you're asking yourself, is this actually what I want? Is this really the direction that I feel like I should be going in? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's always a good thing to question, right? You know yourself. This is one of the things that I love about Saggies. That brutal honesty, sometimes a little bit too brutally honest. It's like you don't hold that from yourself. Like, when your inbuilt BS detector detects your own bullshit, you call yourself on it just like you would call somebody else on it. And that's really important. I think it's one of the things that defines you outside of all of the other signs in the zodiac. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, you can be grandiose and all of the rest of it, but when you know your bullshit in yourself, you will say so as well. You're like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's really important. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Ten of Swords. If you are backtracking or reneging on a word or a pact, not a word, if there's on your word, if there's something that you promised to do, if there's something that you said you would come through for, on, with or over, this week, I'm sorry to say, but you are going to be held accountable if you break that promise. The Ten of Swords here is kind of suggesting that there's something that you're going to try to backtrack on and you're not going to get away with it. It could be either very awkward or it might cause a bust up. So as long as you're prepared for that, just be sure that, do you know what I mean? Just be aware that that is lingering around. For some of you, this could literally be, for those of you that work for somebody else, this week you could literally be releasing your job and saying, right, I'm handing in my notice. I'm not, this isn't for me anymore. I don't want to do this. Maybe you're saying, actually, this new job role or title that you've got for me, not for me. Thank you, but no thank you. And then for your For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, it looks like either your longest client or contract in some way, shape or form might be going away this week. Now, the weird thing is, I don't feel like this is them leaving you. I feel like this is you reaching a space where you're like, okay, I don't feel like I'm actually serving here anymore. And that doesn't feel good for me. So it's almost like you're going to decide, okay, yes, this is the bulk of my income, or yes, maybe, you know, I get a huge chunk of money from this client, but it doesn't feel like the right fit anymore. This is you staying in your integrity, and unfortunately it might not be comfortable for your those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason. This week you are going to have to find a way to navigate expectations versus desires, quite frankly. What is desired, what is expected of you and what you desire for yourself are going to clash this week, and you're going to have to find a way to navigate the two. For your money and materials, you've got the Four of Wands, so your money looks good, right? Your money, your finances, your resources are in a really good space. This is right underneath that King of Pentacles, which suggests that whatever moves you're making in your professional sphere, the results are there. This is where you get good results. It's where you get good material results for the things that you've put into motion or the things that you've started working towards. Another way that this could show up for you as well, if you have made any sort of investment, whether this is stocks, shares, bonds, crypto, like whatever it is that you've put money into, this week you could get a payout. I don't feel like it's the full payout though. It feels like it's really good news, but it kind of feels like you're not. It's either like maybe something matures and you say, actually, you know what, I'm going to leave it where it is. Maybe this isn't necessarily the moment where you feel it's right to pull it out. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, you want to look after your noggin this week. A lot of signs have had that message. The head, the face, this whole sort of general area, look after it this week. You know, your eyes as well, all of that kind of, that whole arena. When it comes to your home and environment, this is great, right? So the communications might be a bit stable, but the home and environment itself, especially in terms of the material aspect, is fine. There's no challenges or issues here, which is great. And then for your love and relations, you have the Judgment card. So this is right underneath the Ten of Swords, right? And remember, the Judgment card, this is big changes, huge changes. This is huge changes in relation to new information that comes up on things from the past. This is looking back to where you've been so that you can understand where you are headed. When it comes to relationships, for those of you that are single, I would say this could be a week where you really get to grips with how you come across in relationships. Maybe somebody that you're currently seeing or talking to kind of says something to you and makes you go, whoa, okay, I didn't realize I came across like that in relationships or as, you know, a person even. And this could be you know, it could at the moment that it happens, it could be like, oh, that's really uncomfortable. I feel like I've been kicked in the gut. But in the grand scheme of things, it could really help you clear some of the understanding around relationships. I think this is going to be a really important week in that regard. When it comes to your for those of you that are partnered or in relationships, you've got collectively good news, but you've also got some collectively challenging news, possibly about an elderly person. So just be prepared that that might come up. It may also be for those of you that are dreamers. And when I say dreamers, when I say someone's a dreamer, I mean in the prophetic sense, not like pie in the sky. If you are a dreamer, you might have a visitation this week. It's definitely possible that you could have some sort of otherworldly or spiritual communication. I kind of get the feeling, because one of the things that I've observed with the Judgment card, it tends to bring something or someone back from the past so that we can assimilate that lesson into the now. And that's why it tends to bring those huge changes. It's like a grand clearing of the decks in some way. So pay attention to what comes up this week. I think it's going to be very interesting. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.